we're dry right now in the Orlando area. Just a few showers off to the west and the activity off to the north. So it's very scattered. And we'll probably continue to see this here through the rest of this evening before things do taper off. And then that's it. That's the impact of this system. But I do also want to show you why this system has been struggling. Here pulling up the water vapor imagery, which is showing you how much moisture the system has to work with. It's kind of creating its own moisture with the warm seas. But look, it has struggled mightily. The greens are the deeper moisture higher up into the atmosphere, and just not much. A lot of that drier air just surrounding the system getting pulled in. And with that, you see to the south, look at all the deeper tropical moisture. This is actually associated with what could be another tropical system that may form in the Bay of Campeche, that is down in the southwest Gulf of Mexico. That may form this weekend. It's going to be probably taking a very similar path to what Alberto just took. So this is not, if it does form, not moving our way. But I think largely that's kind of robbed us of better chances of development here with the system. So it's kind of battled a bit of both. It still has a 60% chance of development. I would not be surprised if it were to be dubbed a tropical depression, but I also just as likely, if not more likely, to be surprised if it was kept as just a tropical system. So we're looking at a 60% chance of development here through the rest of today. It's going to make its way onto land here within the next 12 hours. And so the window is very, very small for when it could become a tropical depression or tropical cyclone. And the path it's going to take, or at least what's left of this system, is going to probably take it up to from the northwest and then moving to the northeast. So it will be kind of carried in, fall apart, and then be carried in by the flow of the atmosphere moving into land. So you can see right there, it's going to be probably making its way on shore near Brunswick, Georgia. But even if it doesn't really matter where it makes landfall, it's, again, not a very strong system. And it's a very small system as well. So let's go hour by hour with the radar. Let's plan your Friday evening here. So we are, again, scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms here through 6, 7 o'clock. Keeping that impact day through 6, 7 o'clock as well, just because those tropical downpours. But the coastal conditions will be improving as the system moves in over land. By 8, 9 o'clock, some remnant showers left over. So we may not be dry. Your dinner plans certainly could be effective here if you're going maybe into downtown Orlando to Winter Park. Maybe you're going to Titusville. Still a chance of some showers here as we go to 8, 9 o'clock. Then once we get into the night, things will start to fall apart and will definitely quiet down here. As we go on into this weekend, we're looking at return to normal, is the way I'll phrase it, because we're going to have lingering tropical moisture from what's left of the system, and then our daily afternoon highs into the 90s. So that is going to all lead to the return of afternoon storms. So I actually think that for many of us, probably not really noticing much of a difference in terms of rain. It's actually been cooler. It hasn't been as bad with the clouds and the rain, but I think we're gonna have sunshine returning tomorrow with afternoon storms. And I think it's gonna be more clouds than sun because of the amount of moisture, but expect afternoon showers, afternoon storms. They could be heavier downpours once again. This current model run, they change each run, but this one shows heavy rain over the parks. If you had plans to go to the theme parks tomorrow, Disney, it probably is going to rain tomorrow afternoon by 4 or 5 o'clock. And I think the best rain chances will be after 2 o'clock tomorrow and then into the evening as things do go, as we have that sea breeze effect, because winds will be more out of the south instead of coming out of the east, which is the way it's been. It's been nice. Actually, I've seen a lot of people commenting on how comfortable it's been in the evening hours with that maritime wind coming out of the east. But we're going to return to the south with these winds, and that's going to lead to those daily afternoon storms. So that is going to make a return again. As for rainfall totals through at least Saturday and this evening, you could pick up a quick inch of rain coming from those tropical downpours. Do not be surprised at all to see that, but we need it, so we'll take it. And then as we get into this weekend on Saturday, more afternoon showers and storms popping up here, bringing some heavier downpours. So welcome to Facebook. We have people joining us from Facebook as well. Tell us where you are joining from. And if you have any questions, feel free to send it my way. I know there's been a lot of questions, a lot of, what do we call it, discourse on Twitter about why isn't this a tropical depression? That kind of looks like one. Why wouldn't it be a tropical depression? So we can get into that. I can talk about that. I've already talked about it a little bit. But if you have any questions about this, we're kind of getting into the semantics of what it is to be a tropical system, an existential question for the tropics. And this can be something that brings a little bit of controversy, but overall, the impacts are the most important thing. And whether this is a tropical depression or not, it's a very weak one, and it's not that impactful. But, you know, rain, wind, rough seas, that sort of thing. But as we take a larger view of the tropics, you can see to the southwest in the Gulf of Mexico, there's that 60% chance of development. We could see another tropical system develop here this weekend, and that comes from what is this gyre. It's called a gyre, and essentially it's just a large area of storms over the Central America, and this is pretty typical for this time of the year that you have this area, a broad area of low pressure, and all, remember, tropical systems are low pressure systems. They're just a bit more organized, and they form over warm ocean temperatures, which we certainly do have in the Gulf of Mexico. And so we're going to have another area of low pressure system, another area of low pressure move over the warm Gulf of Mexico and bring a potential for development there. So we could have more heavy rain and winds into Mexico, and it could become Beryl. If it develops into a tropical storm, we would have Beryl, which would be the next name on the list. But showing you here that Central American low pressure system moving over the Gulf of Mexico, bringing deeper tropical moisture there to Mexico and a lot of rain. And I think they need it, maybe not all at once. Remember, we had a lot of smoke coming from Mexico earlier this month, and that was because of the wildfires there. They've also had a pretty dry stretch of weather. It's not surprising because we have as well. We're kind of tied into their weather a lot, especially when it comes to these southern half of the U.S. with weather patterns. So they need the rain. They just don't need it all at once. And unfortunately, there have been mudslides and deaths due to flooding. So the rain's a good thing when you need it, but not all at once. And they're going to have more tropical rain coming their way. We have one look at the weekend forecast. This would be a brief hit here. We've got lots going on, obviously, but we're going to look at the weekend forecast for you. What's ahead? Where are we going after the system does move in? Again, thank you for joining on Fox Local, bearing with thing. I know the music was playing loudly in the beginning, but I'm glad you guys can hear me now. But we are looking at a stormy weekend. So ironically, after the system is gone, even better rain chances for some expected this weekend, especially some of our southern areas. So we're going to see that return of storminess with afternoon showers and storms. We kind of return to regular programming of sorts, where the last week we've had kind of this little side story where we've had some winds and some tropical clouds and rain and cooler air, but we're going to see the return of the heat, humidity, and storms. So tomorrow and Sunday both expected to bring afternoon chances of storms. Not everyone's going to see rain, but if you do, it could be heavy. We will have more heavy downpours there into the afternoon. The waves should be coming down after the system moves through. I think if you're having beach plans, it will be better. Better conditions found along our coast just with those afternoon storms, something to watch for. But the forecast wave height definitely will be coming down. So rip current risk will be going down as well. As for our temperatures, they're going to be very toasty. We are going to see those temperatures into the 90s the next couple of days, even the next week, expected to be the 90s. And some spots could get into the mid 90s tomorrow before any of the rain does develop. So through 1, 2 o'clock, very hot. Mid-90s, Gainesville, Ocala, the Villages. We return, again, to regular programming. The heat index, it's going to be getting up there. Some spots could be over 105 degrees. So the rain may save us from truly getting too hot for very long, but expect it to be extremely hot and humid, and a difference from what we've had here for the course of the past week, with more of that heat returning in that south wind. So make sure you're just taking breaks, doing the normal stuff that you do during the summer months to keep yourself cool. And then from there, again, we're going to have opportunities for rain. So through the weekend, we could pick up an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain. And then as we get into this week, more rain on the way. Sea breeze initiated storms, very regular stuff, but a lot of tropical moisture available, more than we've had in the past, will be bringing us good chances of rain. So this may not be what we end up with through Friday, but we will have plenty of rain here on the way. So let me finish things off here with your 7-day forecast, showing you what we have for the next week. Daily chances of rain expected all throughout the week, scattered into the afternoon. Your mornings will probably be quiet. The afternoons will be busy with storms across the area. So we'll get those temperatures in the 90s, and the heat will definitely be present, and we're going to have rain chances probably all through the week with those highs in the 90s. So keep cool, keep hydrated. We need the rain again. We're in a drought. I'm going to finish things off here with the radar showing you again where we're seeing that rain right now. I'll put it on loop here for you. But we do have more coverage of the system, more coverage of the rain coming up at 5 o'clock. Well, actually 4:30. I'll be back to do a hit to talk with Garrett about our storms that we do have here present over Central Florida and more on this system. And then by 5 o'clock, we'll see if we have a tropical depression. So keep tuned in for that. But I will send things, I will move things along here, send you the radar. But thank you again for checking things out. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.